my head's like chopped off, bro. Wait, let me adjust the tripod. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Excuse the TV in the background. Gotta keep the baby occupied. Also, excuse the pajamas, no makeup. Again, yeah, it's okay. Also, my nails look disgusting, but we're good. We're going with this. All right, so, sorry, the dog's laying under the Christmas tree. So, I wanted to do a little video about, guys, I don't even know who I am right now. A new video sharing my story. All right, so, whew. This is a hard one to talk about. I've struggled with, do I want to put this out there or do I not want to put it out there? But honestly, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm really not ashamed of it. It's made me who I am. So let's just get into it. So, as many of you may or may not know, I am a recovering addict with 2.5 years clean from heroin. It's a long story. So let's start off with just when I was 14. This is what really opened me up to drugs. It wasn't really my first experience with drugs. My mom is an addict as well, but this was when I first started using drugs. So when I was 14, we moved into a new apartment complex. I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, started smoking cigarettes, started smoking pot. Honestly, to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with smoking pot, but it just, I don't know, I was smoking pot. So I was smoking weed. I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. They were very into like LSD, shrooms, this, that, these, everything. Bring it all to them. Anyways, so I started doing that kind of stuff. At this point, I thought that my mom was clean. I didn't know that she was using at this point. So I remember one night, it was probably about a month or two before my 15th birthday. My mom asked me, hey, do you smoke weed? And I was like, well, do you smoke weed? Because I did not know what to say. And she was like, oh yeah, well, before you were born, I smoked weed. And I was like, oh yeah, I smoke weed then. All right, so she was like, well, I'm gonna get some tomorrow and we're gonna smoke together. Whatever. So my mom and I started smoking weed. We didn't smoke weed a lot together. We only smoked weed together maybe 3 times in that time period. But then there was one day, we were at the pharmacy picking up her prescription of Oxycontin, which she was prescribed for back pain. So we picked it up and we go into the bathroom. She says, do you want to try a new way of getting high? And me being the 14-year-old that I was like, hell yeah, let's go, let's do it. So she gave me some Oxycontin, she had me snort it. And we did it in the bathroom at the grocery store where we were getting her medicine. The baby is moving the camera. Hey, no. Here you go. So, anyways, we're in the bathroom. I'm snorting Oxycontin with my mom. Typical mother-daughter bonding, right? Right. All right, so we started doing oxys together, and I loved them. Let me just tell you, from the first day I did it, I freaking loved it. I loved the way baby's having a meltdown because I'm not letting her move the tripod. Anyways, so from the start, I freaking loved Oxycontin. I would sit there and I would pop them and pop them and pop them. I would pop a couple, I'd snort a couple. I was out of control with them. Until one day they ran out. There were no more. At this point, my mom was working as a hairdresser. She had her cosmetology license. Excuse me again. Excuse the baby crying. I really don't know what she wants right now. I'm trying, guys. So anyway, my mom had her cosmetology license. She was working as a hairdresser, and she had made this friend. I'm not going to use the friend's name. This friend is in a lot of trouble. Whatever. And this friend brought her heroin. She kind of said, your oxys are out here, try this. It's like the same thing, but even better. So at that point, I was not doing heroin at this point. I was just kind of sticking to smoking weed at this point. I was like, I'm not going to do pills or nothing no more. That's it. I'm just going to smoke weed. And I started going down to Philadelphia for daily trips with my mom. And like I said, at this point, I wasn't using heroin. But then one day, we were sitting at the kitchen table, it was me, my mom, and her friend, and they had lines of heroin, because at this point, everyone was just snorting it. So she had lines of heroin, and she kind of looked at her friend and was like, do you think she could have some? And I was just kind of like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna have some. So I had some, and that was my first true love. I fell in love with it, okay? A couple months down the road, I'm shooting it. You know, my mom's shooting me up on the way home in the car. And at this point, it wasn't just heroin, it was cocaine, I was smoking crack, I was doing anything that I could get my hands on, I was doing. So flash forward to October 2014, I got busted at school. So I was at school, somebody had called in and had just kind of said, you know, I think that my friend's on drugs, is there anything that you guys can do? So they called me down to the guidance counselor. I didn't tell nothing to the guidance counselor, like, I ain't telling you shit, right? So they called the nurse, and the nurse, you know, tells me to take off my long sleeve. I had track marks absolutely everywhere. And at this point, they knew I was using, so they called the police, they called security, they searched my locker and my backpack, and they found a bunch of crap on me. I ended up being charged. So I do have a juvenile record, which is expunged at this time, but I did have a juvenile record. They called a social worker in, and long story short, my mom ended up getting arrested. I went to rehab. So this was national news. Some of you might notice the headline. Mother injects 15-year-old daughter and 16-year-old boyfriend with heroin. Yep, that was my mom. I'm the girl. Okay. It was like a huge story. Like, I couldn't even go to my normal high school after that. I mean, besides being expelled, I couldn't even go back because of the death threats and the people just being so mean about it. So, Alfie, honey, what do you want, babe? Anyways, I went to rehab. I ended up I went to rehab. I moved in with my grandparents, and I ended up staying clean for almost 2 years, not quite 2 years, but almost 2 years. After my grandfather passed, I ended up relapsing, and it started off with cocaine at this point. I was using it very heavily, and then I went back to heroin. And I was about 17 when I went back to drugs. And at this point, again, it turned into anything I could get my hands on. Absolutely anything. I completely destroyed my life. I thought it was bad when I was 15, but when I was 15, there was not really any consequences for me. Like, yes, I got in trouble with the law, but I was able to, you know, do my time, do my community service, do my probation, and then forget about it. But when I relapsed when I was 17, like, that turned into, now I'm 18. Now anything that I do is, you know, could potentially be lifelong, you know, consequences. And it was just not good. My life was not good. I lost my job. I got kicked out of my house. I was living on the streets. It was very, very, very bad. And I'm gonna go like into detail and do like separate story times. Honey, she's driving me nuts. I love her, but she's driving me nuts. So, anyways, a bunch of things, and I'm actually gonna do like a whole story time as well on how I actually got clean and how I've stayed clean. So, the June of 2017 is when I actually got clean. And like I said, I'm gonna do a story time on how I got clean, what helped me get clean, and all that stuff. But I got clean. I've been clean ever since. So that's kind of a little bit about my story. Like I said, I'm gonna go into details. I'm gonna do story times about everything because I feel like there's just so much to everything, but this just kind of gives you the whole gist of everything and whatnot. But I also do want to mention that 2.5 years ago, no one thought I was gonna live. I mean, it was looking really bad. Like, I was a zombie. I was a walking zombie. Like, it wasn't me. And at any time I could have died. because of the choices that I was making, the drugs that I was using. But here I am 2.5 years later. I have a beautiful daughter who gives me the motivation to stay clean. I have a beautiful life. I have a beautiful, loving boyfriend. Beautiful, he might get mad because I call him beautiful. I have a handsome, loving boyfriend. Like, I am doing so well right now. I'm living out my dreams. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm just living out my dreams right now, and it's possible. So anyone struggling, you can freaking do it. You can do it. Just put the drugs down. Check yourself into rehab, or do what I did. Move states away. And I mean, there's got to be that will there. You got to want to stop using it. I wanted it. I wanted it so bad because I wanted my family back. I wanted everything back. I was so sick of being homeless and hopeless and a dope fiend. Like, I was so sick of it. But here I am today, and I also have to say to all my haters out there, because I know you guys are watching, and as nasty as this might sound, but you guys don't faze me. Y'all call me junkie and a dope fiend and this and that. Guess what? I was, and guess where I am now, okay? I'm living out my dreams. I have a beautiful, beautiful daughter, and I am a damn good mom to her. So I just want to put that out there because I know a lot of people talk shit on me. I know a lot of people got their opinions about me, and they can keep on talking because I know what I'm doing, and I know that I'm doing a damn good job at what I'm doing. I've come so far. I've come so far, and that's all I could ever ask. So keep on talking. I really don't care. I'm gonna stop talking about this because whatever. But that's my story. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what kind of story times you'd like. I got a lot of interesting stories, and I think that it makes for great content, so it might help someone out there, someone who was in the same place that I was, and now, you know, they want to change their life. And it's kind of like, I feel like I could set an example for you guys. This is where I've been, and this is where I'm at now, and guess what? You can do it too. You can do it too. You just gotta find your higher power, find some faith, and you're golden. You're golden. Alright. Bye guys, and I'll see you in the next video.